to Nice Radio every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for A View from the Outside, hosted by Brereton Horne. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brereton Horne will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brereton Horne at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
On A View from the Outside this week being the 16th of May, 2020, we look at hesitant, H-E-S-I-T-A-N-T, hesitant, with the view being that Vincentians will benefit from shaking off the yoke of hesitancy. Stop being hesitant and become vocal and act on the things which affect the lives of Vincentians. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines hesitant as slow to act or proceed as far as fear, indecision, or unwillingness. And the Collins Dictionary states that if you're hesitant about doing something, you do not do it quickly or immediately, usually because you are uncertain, embarrassed, or worried. Those definitions tell us people who are hesitant are slow to act or proceed. People who are hesitant do not act quickly or immediately. People who are hesitant to act are hesitant because of fear of repercussions. People are hesitant to act because of embarrassment. People are hesitant to act out of worry about what might happen. And the definitions tell us that people are hesitant to act because of uncertainty. This week's program is triggered by an open letter entitled COVID-19 in Cuba, A Student's Perspective, which appeared in an online publication dated 13 May 2020. The letter states that it is written by a concerned CARICOM national who is a student in Cuba. The letter is seemingly written to highlight the plight of CARICOM students, Vincentians included, in Cuba. The first two paragraphs of the letter say that, and I quote, "I hope this email finds you in good health. I was hesitant to write on this matter since our scholarships are on the line. But after the last few articles published, I realized the lack of empathy shown by our representatives in Cuba and at home. It saddens me that we CARICOM students are made out as liars and troublemakers when they speak out on the matter." Unquote. The writer goes on to mention the hardships and deficiencies which they, as students, experience in Cuba, including shortages of food, basic hygiene products, and produce, including basic necessities such as toothpaste, soap, detergent, feminine hygiene products, rice, meat, pasta, and milk. The writer also mentions the factual inaccuracies of another writer, who the writer refers to as the ambassador. We, on A View from the Outside, encourage you all to find that letter and read it for yourselves in its entirety, or have it read to you in its entirety. When you read the letter or have it read to you, you will fathom the true reason why the writer said that he or she was hesitant to act. You will see that the writer said that even in the face of much discussion and misinformation by some, he or she was hesitant to act because their scholarships are on the line. So, it is because of the concern or the worry or fear that their scholarships will be affected or that they will lose their scholarships altogether, which serve to muzzle those students in Cuba and cause the writer of the letter, him or her, to be hesitant. While we, on a view from the outside, have noticed that the student has not revealed his or her identity and is still somewhat muzzled out of fear of their scholarships being affected, of losing their scholarships altogether, it is encouraging that he or she has made a start and is moving away from being hesitant. The shackles are coming off. It is in that vein that we, on a view from the outside, now encourage you all, the listeners, to emulate that concerned student and shake off your yoke of hesitancy. Unshackle yourself. Stop being hesitant. Don't let the fear or worry of being victimized, losing your job, your student loan, or scholarship cause you to be hesitant, to speak out on the multiplicity of issues affecting Vincentians at home and in the diaspora. It is difficult, we know, but we encourage you not to let threats or fear of losing your perks, tax concessions, positions on boards, or whatever other inducements are flashed in front of your eyes. Don't let those cause you to be hesitant. We say, speak out and call wrong, wrong. You know that what was done and what they continue to do to bigger bigs is unlawful and wrong. Don't be hesitant any longer. Speak up and speak out about it and call it wrong. You know what has been done to Yogi Farrell is manifestly and fundamentally wrong. Don't be hesitant. Speak up and speak out and call it wrong. You know that it is patently wrong to have Michelle Andrews still languishing on the beat in the same position of a police constable after some 12 years since she alleged that the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, sexually assaulted and raped her in the early hours of the morning when she was on duty guarding him and his family. Allegations which he is still to face in a court of law. You've been hesitant for too long on this matter. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out and call it wrong. You know that it is fundamentally and evidently wrong to have the election petitions, which are meant to determine the legitimacy of the government, still languishing in court, with that government now almost running a full course. We say, stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out about it and say that it is wrong. You know that what is being done to Marcus Brereton is egregiously wrong. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out so that he is paid for his property, which the regime compulsorily acquired from him over a decade ago, and for which the court ruled that he must be paid. Speak up. Call it wrong because you know that it is wrong. You know that it is plainly wrong for the regime to ignore the Constitution, the highest law of the land, and not provide financial accountability as mandated by the Constitution. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about it. You know that it is obviously wrong for the employees of Bukuma still to be owed their wages after many years of the closure of that establishment and after many promises from the Minister of Finance that they will be paid. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out for those deprived ex-employees so that they can be paid. You know that it is blatantly wrong for the regime to allow its agents and enablers to take to the airwaves and social media to tarnish, besmirch, denigrate, or degrade women who tell of their experiences of rape and sexual assault and domestic violence. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about things like those. You know all of the wrongs which occur in your village, your community, your town, which occur throughout the country. We say, stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out about them. Stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out about the current issues in the country, which you know are worsened by your own silence. Speak up and speak out about the deficiencies in the healthcare system in the country, where basic medication and supplies are constantly in short supply, and where the price of those basic medication and supplies in drugstores is sometimes exorbitant. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about the situation at Rabacar, where local truckers are crying out that they are ignored for others. Don't be hesitant. Speak up and speak out about that matter, and speak up and speak out regarding the protection of the Rabacar shoreline. Stop being hesitant. Demand fair and open competition for awarding contracts. Demand an open and fair employment or recruitment process. Demand that everyone is treated fairly. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about the poor infrastructure and the state of the roads, which generally remain in a state of disrepair until just before elections. Stop being hesitant and do not allow yourselves to be fooled again. Road repairs is a basic function of government and not to be used as election tool. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about the deficit in morality and the astronomical rise in rape and domestic abuse in the country. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about the diabolical state of unemployment in the country, where youth unemployment is put at 42% and rising steadily. Stop being hesitant. Demand better for our youth. Demand better for everyone. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about the chaotic and hysterical way in which the COVID-19 situation is handled in the country. Demand better. Stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out on behalf of the sailors, some of whom remain forlornly at sea and who are yearning to get home. Stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out about education and the way teachers and students are affected by online teaching. Your voice can bring positive change and improvements in that area. Adriana King, a teacher, is not hesitant on that matter and on other things, primarily about education. Stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out about the situation which Vincentian students in Cuba are facing. The issue which forms the very premise of today's program. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out about the insults and lies which are told to you without shame and with regularity. Demand better. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out when fellow Vincentians in the Vincentian diaspora who refuse to be hesitant and who speak out on issues affecting our country are insulted and called babysitters and dog walkers and told that they live in cockroach-infested basements and are living hand-to-mouth. You know that that is wrong. Speak up and speak out against it and demand better. Stop being hesitant altogether. Speak up and speak out on matters that affect Vincentians wherever they are. And in doing so, always be guided by the thought that evil triumphs when good men and women do nothing. Vincentians, you're good men and women. Stop being there doing nothing. Speak up, don't be hesitant. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out against the Orwellian practices which are currently taking place in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Practices which appear to have come straight out of the George Orwell's 20th century novel Animal Farm. Practices where everyone or anyone who questions anything or appears not to toe the line are branded as traitors and vilified, as was done to the character Snowball. Practices where Comrade Napoleon Wheeler Snowball, before he was chased away by the ferocious dogs, and the other pigs were living in opulence, while the other animals, including Boxer, the indefatigable horse, literally worked themselves to death whilst living in poverty. Vincentians, look around you and see who are living in opulence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, while others wait to be invited to the trough. Many exist in poverty with over 6,000 on public assistance. There are others who are not on public assistance and who are described as indigent and poor and cannot afford to buy lunch. Stop being hesitant. Speak up and speak out against such inequality. We here on A View from the Outside do not have enough time to recount all of the things which we implore you to stop being hesitant and speak up and speak out against. We, however, urge you to keep the conversation going. And as you remember the atrocities and inequalities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we ask you to unbridle yourselves, shake off the worry, shake off the embarrassment, shake off the fear. Stop being hesitant and speak up about them. Do so much like Luzette King, Thatcher's Knights, and all of the others on the front line who have not been hesitant and who continue to speak up and speak out on what is described as a stolen election of the 9th of December 2015. Also, they continue to speak up and speak out on health and other issues affecting the country. Dr. Goodluck was not hesitant to speak up and speak out about the mold infestation at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. The psychologist Kimberly Cambridge was not hesitant when she, with a dossier of evidence, spoke up and spoke out and said that there's a rape culture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ranel Roberts-Williams, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' patient zero, was not hesitant when she wrote about her insistence to be tested for COVID-19, despite the advice which she received from the authorities. She was not hesitant either to write about the unauthorized dissemination of her medical information. We say to emulate those and others who speak up and speak out, who are not hesitant, and they speak up and speak out. We ask you that as you emulate them and stop being hesitant, we ask you to be mindful of the words of Franca Chazani, the late Italian journalist and former editor of Vogue. She said, and I quote, "Be determined and humble, but not fearful and hesitant." I repeat that. Be determined and humble, but not fearful and hesitant, unquote. Vincentians, we say, shake off the worry and the fear. And like that concerned CARICOM student, stop being hesitant and speak up about the issues in and around the country. Until next week, Randy and all of the listeners, this is Brereton Horne with A View from the Outside, with a reminder to send feedback to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. We also invite you to like our Facebook page at A View from the Outside and to visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel at JMB Horne. Have a pleasant Saturday, a wonderful Sunday, and a productive week ahead with everyone making the effort. Stop being hesitant.